What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, and somebody got some answering to do. You know who I'm talking about. Creepy, sleepy, sloppy, slimy. Joe, he got some answering to do, but we're not going to hear from him because he's been bubble wrapped. They got that man buried deep down in the basement of some type of dungeon and saying, all right, Joe, we want to limit you on everything you say and do. Just can you keep it together until November? That's all we need you to do. Then you can go somewhere and sit down and be quiet. We don't ever have to hear from you again. Either we'll run the country or we'll put somebody in as a vice president to run the country because we understand what you're suffering through. We just don't care. We don't care the fact that you're old and probably losing it, but need to be sitting down somewhere with your grandchildren, rocking chair perhaps. We don't care about that. Because see, this is greater than you, Joe. It's greater than you living out your golden years and enjoying life. We got to get Orange Man out. So Joe, suck it up. So they got him buried in the basement when he should be out answering some very serious questions based off of some accusations. Now, what I'm about to let y'all hear, just in case you haven't, we all know that recently Joe Biden was accused of pushing up on this young lady years ago because he wanted some sugar, unwanted sugar. Had her in the basement. I guess she was supposed to bring down his gym bag. Maybe that was the setup. And when she got down, he took the bag, set it somewhere, and he starts, the touchies. He was, touch it, baby. Yeah, look me, talk about it. And he started grabbing, and she was, whoa, what are you doing? Joe, stop, Joe, look at me, Joe, look at me. So she got upset about it, and Joe got mad. Come on, man, thought you liked me. And he said some rough things to her, too. I even heard on an interview the other day that she even came out and said at the end, when he saw that she wasn't going to get his way, he just said, you know what, you're nothing to me. See, that was back when he had all his marbles and everything. He thought he had the juice. That was the problem. At that time, he was like, I got the juice. I'm Joe with the juice. I got the juice. So he thought he had the juice, and he hit her with the you're nothing to me. And then when she started breaking down, I guess he's like, okay, all right, you're all right. You're all right. Just don't go out and tell everybody. Now, she comes out with all of this a couple, weeks ago or a month ago, and it's been nothing but crickets from the liberal media. Nobody has even asked him about it. Apparently, his staff put out a statement. I don't even know where that's at, and I'm sure it's not being aired on all the liberal networks. Now, why wouldn't they cover this? I don't understand, because remember, they're the champions for women. Not to mention, when it was Blasey Ford who came out, wait a minute, where they at? Let me see. Because see, at the time when she came out, they wanted to make sure she looked as sensitive and believable as possible. So they made sure she came out with her glasses on. And instead of talking like a grown woman, like, hey, years ago, something happened. They took her into this broken victim child, like they probably rehearsed it, lower, go down to maybe a 3 or 5 year old. We need you to be like that. So it was a long time ago, and you're so brave. Would you like some water? Yes, drink water. I'm parched. Anyway, I wasn't like that. Now, she didn't come with no evidence, nothing. She didn't say, yo, man, these people actually saw it. They were there. In fact, the people that she talked about was like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. She didn't even really prove that she even knew Brett Kavanaugh or met Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, this right here was a rabbit out the hat. No evidence, like 30 years ago. And suspiciously, she just became amnesia right after. She remembered being at the house, and then they tried to get on top of her allegedly, and then she ran down to the bathroom, and the woman she said was there with her said, I don't know what you're talking about. She couldn't say where she lived. I mean, where that person lived. I don't know where I was at. I just randomly ended up at somebody's house. Then they jumped on me, and I took off running. And how did you get home? I don't know. Everything went dark after that. When did it all come back to you? How did you realize that, hey, you made it home? How'd you realize that? Did you just wake up in your bed like, wow, I feel like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Just woke up and then you were there, and Brett Kavanaugh was there, and all of the people were there in her mind. Did that happen? But yet without no evidence. All the people on the left just jumped on Kavanaugh like a spider monkey. He was pretty much guilty in the eyes of the media, liberal media that is, and some of the celebrities and all of that, Melissa Milano or whoever that is, all of them was jumping on this dude like a spider monkey. We don't need no proof. You better believe on. You better believe. All right, so they went off on him, dedicated, made it their mission to destroy this man's life along with his family, his reputation, all his hard work, everything. Made it their mission to destroy him. But yet, crickets, now that these accusations have come out about Joe, now I'm going to give you a compare and contrast, okay? Blasé Ford, no details, very vague, took place years ago, didn't tell nobody nothing, okay? Had no witnesses that said, right when that happened, she told me. Not even her mama. Suspiciously levitated, floated, or whatever, back to her house after this traumatic experience, and don't remember just waking up like, all right, I'm home. I don't know how I got home. I don't know. Nobody recorded saying, I picked her up, took her home. She was miles away from that location. Did she walk? I'm just wondering. Nothing lined up with her story, but they took it, ran with it, and made it seem believable to their audience. But now this woman, she gives a very descriptive, detailed record of what he did, where he was at, what he said, how the wall looked, what she was wearing, all of that stuff. And yet, no curiosity from the liberal media. Mum's the word. And they have interviewed Joe Biden several times. No, you know what? Well, I got you here, former vice president. I have to ask. There's these accusations floating around about you having the sticky fingers, and I'm not talking about stealing items. You was trying to steal the cookies. And why you did that, this woman was upset, said it. Do you have anything to say about it? See, they won't let Joe answer that question because he don't remember it. Right now in his brain, he probably would be very candid because the brain is breaking down and messing him all up when it comes down to his lying. So he might be like, absolutely, I did it. I thought I said I'm Joe smoking. Call me smoking, okay? I don't know. Wait, whoa. Right, listen, let me see. Joe Frazier took that from me. I was the original smoking Joe. You understand that? I did it. So what? What do you mean? I'm telling the truth. Yeah, I'm telling the truth. You know why? Because you can't handle the truth. Yeah, so my man might just spill the beans. They don't trust him to answer that question. His staff don't, and sure enough, the liberal media doesn't. But what this does is highlights something called hypocrisy, bias, and an agenda to get Joe in. They going, man, as long as we can, let's bury this story. We don't want this going viral. Now, up until a couple of days ago, we lacked some more evidence that make people say, well, at least this is worth investigating, okay? We want to assume that every guy is innocent until proven guilty. But here's the problem. The media didn't. The left never does that. When people on the left gives extreme details of something that took place, it's funny how they bury their own stories or just lose the desire to look into it and investigate it and get to the bottom of it. Take Keith Ellison, for example. He beat up his girlfriend because she wouldn't take the trash out. And that was not too long ago. She gave details, went to the hospital, everything. They quote unquote did an internal investigation and then found out there's nothing to see here. And he's out still pushing propaganda. So with this lady, she says this, but somebody went and dug something up. Let's see what was dug up to give more credence to what she is claiming. Here's Tucker. Give it to us. Yeah.
Tara Reade's sexual assault allegation against her former boss, Joe Biden, has not been proven. Likely it never will be. It happened an awfully long time ago, she says. But newly discovered evidence from almost 30 years ago offers surprising support for Reade's claim. This came almost out of nowhere. A clip from Larry King Live, the old 9 p.m. show on CNN,
I remember it.
Features a call from a woman Reade tells reporters is her mother. Watch this.
San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
Hey. Yes, hello.
I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator and could not get through with her problems at all. And the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Oh my.
Huh. That's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Rich McHugh is a longtime reporter who's been on this story and a lot of big stories. He joins us tonight. Rich, thanks so much for coming on tonight. So will you just lay out the facts of as we know them and the allegations?
Yeah, we want to hear
if you would.
Sure. So Tara Reid worked for Joe Biden in 1992 and 93 for about 8 months.
Okay.
She says that at the time she faced some sexual harassment from him, unwanted touching, and she had complained about it, and it fell on deaf ears. And so she said she went and filed a complaint, outside of his office in some senatorial office that would handle these things.
And they said, shut your mouth?
Around that same time, she says she was asked to deliver him a gym bag in one of the Senate buildings.
Okay.
And she brought it to him, and she says it was a warm spring day, a hot spring day. She said that he attacked her in a corridor. It wasn't a private office or anything, but attacked her and sexually assaulted her. And she came forward with an allegation last April.
And let me guess, the Democrats jumped all over it when she came forward with these allegations and said, you know what, we're here for you because we're the champions of women and we're going to fight for you. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, we want all the details. We're going to hold all types of hearings. We're going to bring and subpoena Joe Biden, make him come in and talk about this and explain where he was and what he was doing. That's what we're going to do because we're all about the Me Too. That's what they said. I'm sure that's what they did. Let's listen.
A local paper. She'd been telling people about this. She told people at the time. She told her mother. She told a friend. She told her brother, and she may have told some others. And so now she came out last year and told part of her story to a local paper in California. And
so let me understand this. Unlike Blasey Ford, she immediately started off with telling other people in the Senate. Now, shouldn't we be subpoenaing these people and asking them, do you remember this lady? And did she tell you this? Well, because right now what we have is evidence that unlike Blasey Ford, she told people right when it happened. Now, understand, everybody coming into November, whether you get to the bottom of this or not, if you took 1 second to get on Donald Trump and say, well, we have no evidence of anything that any of these women that came out when Trump was running, we don't have any of that evidence, but we assume he's just guilty and we would never vote for some sexual predator like him. You better not vote for Joe Biden. You better not vote for creepy, sleepy, sloppy, slimy. The people who during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings that was saying, obviously he's guilty and you have to believe the victim with no evidence whatsoever. Think about this. Compare and contrast. Brett Kavanaugh. All those years, you don't see him in one photo posted up with Blasey Ford. You don't see him in one photo sniffing, kissing, pushing up on nobody, nothing. And we're supposed to believe that out of nowhere, we find out he's a sexual predator. We didn't know it. Right up under our nose. FBI doing all those background checks didn't even find out that either. Nothing. Okay. But this man, who you can go online at any second and see a full-blown 15, 20-minute montage of him sniffing, kissing every woman on the lips or cheek, pulling them in real close while you can tell they're leaning back like they're going down a hill on a roller coaster. That's how far they're leaning back like, don't you kiss me. All of that, little kids bowing out away from him like, the creepy old man here is getting too close. All of those things, including all the women who said he was too fresh with them. All of that. And then you get somebody who come out and give details, and you also got a record of this woman saying this happened and told her mama. And her mama called Larry King, and somebody found the footage. Why aren't the reporters who are diligent against fighting injustice in the Me Too movement, why aren't they calling this lady and saying, would you come on my show? I want to ask you some questions. Why, when they bring Joe Creepy, Sleepy, Sloppy, Slimy on their shows, they don't ask him these questions? Well, I'll tell you why. They're partisan. They're not in business for the truth. They're in the business to push propaganda, push an agenda. And if that agenda is unfortunately going to be stifled by him being exposed to doing this to this woman, then she's just a victim. She is a victim of war. She's a casualty. That's all she is. Sorry, the Me Too stops at our agenda. If it goes and messes up our agenda, no Me Too for you. Okay, you understand that? All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the newest evidence that came in from this woman's claim. Let's wait diligently for people on MSNBC and CNN to investigate this. Where's Brian Stelter? You know, no, wait a minute. Don, where you at, Don? Don Lemon? Nothing? Chris Cone? No, okay, forget it. I don't even know why I'm asking about you guys. Anyway, God bless y'all. Don't forget, check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, and my radio blog talk show. Hit like, hit share, subscribe, and the notification button. Make sure that you're still subscribing. Your notifications are set to all. And then also, check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like something, put Kevin in the promo code. You get a 20% discount. And if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom to do that. And God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.